Hello guys, welcome back to the part 2 of David's spelling 2 quizzes in a row. David fails quizzes with probability 1/4. What is the probability that he will fail 2 quizzes in a row before passing 2 quizzes in a row? So I am going to denote event A by this part. Basically, failing 2 quizzes in a row before passing 2 quizzes in a row. So now let's list all the possible sequences of outcomes. So we are going to start with the case when he fails the first quiz. So he's going to fail. Let's say he fails again. So this would be an outcome of event A. Next, he can fail again, and he can pass, and he can fail again, and fail again. So what you should start noticing now is that in order for the outcome to be event A, we need the last 2 to be failure, and for all the events in the front, you cannot have 2 passes in a row. You are kind of forced to fail and pass, fail and pass alternatively. So now let's look at the other cases where if he passed the first test, well, if he passed the first test, he can fail the next 2 tests, which will also be events A, and let's continue to pass the first test, and if he fails the next one, he can pass the next one, and we can fail 2 more. So in this second group, we are also listing all the sequences where you get 2 failures at the end. And the only difference between the second group, this group, versus the first group is that the first test is a pass as opposed to a fail. But after that, everything actually looked pretty much the same. So if you look at these 2 groups of patterns that actually represent all the possible sequences for event A. So now let's try to calculate the probability of event A, which would be the sum of the probability of all these sequences. So I'm going to let P equal to 1/4 and Q equal to 3/4. So that will simplify my expression. So this one is P squared. Next one would be P times Q times P squared. Next one, PQ times P squared. Well, you see the pattern, kind of PQ and then P squared. Right. So basically, each additional pairs of pass and fail sequence, we just multiply it by another PQ. For the second group, it's actually pretty much the same as the first group. So this first one is going to be Q P squared. Second one is going to be Q PQ times P squared. And the third one, Q PQ squared times P squared. And this one, Q PQ to the third, P squared. So let's sum all these together. Let's do group 1 first. So this would be P squared multiplied by 1 plus PQ squared plus PQ cubed plus dot dot dot. the second group is going to be q p squared multiplied by 1 plus pq plus pq square dot dot dot. So actually, you should notice again that this entire series are the same, and it is a geometric series. So let's recall the formula: 1 plus r squared plus r cubed plus dot 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 is equal to 1 over 1 minus r. So if we apply it to the formula above, our r here is pq. So that means the entire series above this thing would be equal to 1 over 1 minus pq. So if you're going to write the whole thing together, switch back to blue, it's going to be p squared times 1 over 1 minus pq plus q p squared 1 minus 1 over pq. And we know that p is 1/4, q is 3/4. So if we substitute everything, it will be 1/4 square 1 minus pq 1/4 plus 3/4 times 1/4 square 1 over 1 minus 1/4 3/4. And if you simplify everything, you are going to get 7 over 52. Alright, that's it. Thank you guys. Let me know if you have any questions.